on, folks? One of the biggest lies that I've ever been told, and that's been told to you and your family and everyone you know, is that if you work hard enough, you will succeed. You will accomplish whatever it is that you're looking for. You will obtain whatever it is that you're, wanting to obtain, etc. You get the point. It's not true. That's a lie. I know it's a lie. You probably know to some extent that it's not true. But you get the point. I don't necessarily think that this is a harmful lie. I'm not critiquing the fact that people make this statement that if you work hard enough, you can succeed. I think it's honestly a beneficial lie. I think it promotes individuals to be contributing members of their society. Makes them work harder, and makes them develop themselves spiritually, emotionally, socially. And it just allows people to try to find a way to become a better version of themselves. But the fact of the matter is that some people are built to lose. I want you to just take a minute to think. It could be someone that you've met. It can be someone that you've seen online, you've read in a book, etc. Think about someone that just can't win. They can't do it. They can't win. Whether it be socially, whether it be fiscally, or anything of the sorts, I mean, for example, the average, movie cliche of the hardworking man that works 16 hours a day and can't feed his family. Take one of those, for example. Or someone that is outcasted socially, but hasn't necessarily done anything wrong. So, what I'm trying to get at with this is that there are people that no matter how much work they put in, will not succeed under the original framework that they enter that mission of work on. And what I mean by that is that they won't necessarily accomplish what it is they want to accomplish, but that doesn't mean they won't accomplish anything. It just means they won't likely accomplish what it is that they want because they cannot win. So if hard work doesn't bring success, then poses the question, why must we continue to try? Why must we continue as people to work hard and try to establish ourselves? Because if it's not gonna provide any sense of benefit to us or even others, it's a lot of the time impossible to help other people regardless of what you do. So it's not only a matter of you not succeeding, but also not succeeding socially with others. So why must we continue? Now there's of course the viewpoint and the argument that why not try, right? Kind of like Pascal's wager, but not, in the lens of religion. A lot of people will say that just try to try, right? There's no harm in it. You might as well work hard, but I think that there is more than that. I believe that continuing to work to better yourself, whether that be working, a job or working to expand your social network, might not provide you with, the outcomes that you're looking for, but what it will do is give you a sense of drive. It's a pretty common, pretty common knowledge at this point that human beings are, workhorses, right? We had no reason to advance from sticks and stones to all of this technology, but we did it anyways. And that included people who couldn't succeed. It's in our nature to work. It's in our nature to want to be better. And I think that the only way you can find fulfillment from working hard is to realize that it might not work out how you want it to. For example, I want you to think of two groups of people. I want you to think, firstly, I'll just make up an anecdote here. A rich man, he has a loving family, a large home, lots of money. He's retired at, 40. He's, doing really, really, really well. He has a loving wife or husband or, whatever. And he finds fulfillment. And I want you to also think of another situation where someone is not so gifted financially, environmentally, etc. Let's say someone who lives in, I don't know, a less developed country, work every single day, and they don't make a fraction of what the other man makes. They still find a way to be happy. And I think that in order to find that, borderline, is to understand that happiness is not equivalent to fulfillment. A lot of people will say that money can't buy happiness, and that's another blatant, blunt lie. That's not true, right? Money makes it significantly easier for you to facilitate the things that make you fulfilled and make you happy. If you have money, you have more time to do these things which can make you happy. However, happiness, again, and fulfillment are not the same thing. The reason for which that these less developed and less fortunate groups of people are able to find the same, not necessarily the same, but a level of fulfillment that suits them, is that they shift their framework. It sounds pessimistic, but there's always two sides to every coin, right? With the claim that you can always be happy, there also comes the fact that you won't necessarily be as happy as others, but yet you can still find fulfillment. What that may require is accepting your circumstances, accepting that you might not be the person you want to be. You're not going to succeed at the things you want to succeed at, but you're still happy, right? So, again, why try? I think that under this idea that you can just shift your framework, a lot of people will begin to believe, I shouldn't try, right? If I'm not going to succeed, if I'm just accepting that I'm not going to, obtain my goals in life, why should I keep going? Why should I keep trying? There's no reason to do so. I believe the answer to that question is one that lies in the question itself, right? If we were to propose the question of, if I accept that I'm not going to be extraordinary and I accept that I'm not going to succeed, why must I try to succeed at all? And I think that the issue with that question itself, the issue with the wording of that question, is that you assume success is the only possible byproduct of trying. But I believe that the reason we try is that we value the process of trying rather than the destination. And I don't mean that in cliche sense of it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, heard it a million times. But if you really think about it, think of examples. There's children that construct sandcastles knowing the tide is going to wash them away. You might go play basketball with your friends, but you're not going to make it to the NBA. Your 5'6" friend, regardless of his dreams and aspirations, is never going to play wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. But he still enjoys playing football. And I believe that that is because our version of success is created by ourselves. We can't just discover it. You won't be fulfilled by searching for fulfillment. You can only be fulfilled by creating fulfillment. And if you must accept, again, that you're not to succeed as others have succeeded, then you must find another way to create fulfillment. In addition, I believe that the process of trying is also the only way to construct a character. It's the only way to become. It's the only way to be. Right? You have no distinguishing characteristics if you don't try things, if you don't engage yourself in activities, right? So, overall, this is a bit of a shorter video and a bit less depth here, but I believe that the reason we must continue is not really a solid answer, because we really don't need to continue, but we might as well, because it allows us to create success and create fulfillment. However, it is important to accept that it is a lie to say that if you try hard enough, you will succeed. And And it is also important to, understand that some people are built to lose. However, those people can still find fulfillment because they are able to shift what they define as fulfillment.